Hello everyone, Awesome Mail here as we add another $1 million, ideally, at least 100 people making 10 grand this week. You know, I get a lot of questions about from people asking me about how to make fast cash. So in this special episode, we're going to go over how to use signs regardless of your area. Even if people take them down within hours, you can put up your signs regardless of where you are. You can put up your signs right in front of the police station. You can even have the cops put out the signs for you. You're going to know exactly how to do that by the time we're done here. I've worked with a lot of real estate investors. You can do this whether you buy a house or not. Still hit 10 grand a month, 10 grand a week, and even 10 grand a day. We're going to go over all of it right now. You need to make money immediately. Start with this in one day. You can start with this today and you can start making money right now. And you can get all of this done for free. Did I say free? I meant to say free! All you've got to do is watch this episode. My way of breaking bread, of us getting to know each other, and you becoming even more emotionally attached to the emails and voicemails that I send you. So whenever you get a contact from me, you know that it's sprinkled with different elements of badassery. And like I said, you don't have to buy anything. All you have to do is watch this episode and do what we talk about. People all around the world are doing this right now, day in and day out, in markets across the country, everywhere, except where you live. This will not work where you live. I just checked. We get emails like this all the time. And you know, sometimes people don't even tell me the area they're in. They'll just say, you know, they'll just send us an email and they'll say, I don't think this works in my area, without telling us where they live. So it's like we should look at their email, kelly45x@yahoo.com, and just by looking at the email, we know, you're right, this won't work in your area. I can just tell. This nonsense of working in my area, by the way, is probably one of the dumbest questions in the world. People say there's no such thing as stupid questions. That's like saying there's no such thing as stupid people. We all know there's no shortage of them, is there? So if you're wondering if this is going to work in your area, let me check. No, it will not work in your area. And even if it will work in your area, it certainly will not work in the new economy and without a Twitter account. All right, back to what we were talking about, signs. We're going to go over three things. First, we're going to talk about the type of signs I recommend you use. Then we're going to talk about the people I recommend you partner with, 3 ways to start making money immediately. And the last thing we're going to go over is how to get 2 to 3 calls a minute. And I don't mean a minute like I was locked up for a minute. No, I'm speaking literally 60 seconds, 2 to 3 calls, 60 seconds, and up to several hundred calls an hour. Did I already mention you could do all this for free? What a guy I am. And like I said, it's all in this episode. I know I've been sending out articles lately, but this week I thought, what the hell, you guys need some eye candy. All right, so the type of signs I recommend, when I say handwritten neon yellow handwritten signs, I'm speaking in code because I'm referring to neon yellow handwritten signs. Yeah, if you've gone through the 23 days crash course, those are the exact signs. I've tested over 500 different types of signs. Those are the single best signs I've found. You want to get the neon yellow poster board from like Walmart or Target, and you want to handwrite with a Sharpie or with a Mark-Xalots, and also a good pen. It has a nice thick tip to it, and you want to hand write the message on there. So there's star, or I guess asterisk, headline, a box with another offer, a headline, the number beneath it, and 24 hours beneath that. That is the sign that has outperformed every other sign we've tested. The only sign that comes close is spray paint on wood. Challenge is spray paint's expensive. You get it in your eyes, you pay someone to do it, they can get poisoned. Another good idea is to actually have someone stand there with their shirt off and have the sign written on them. That's also pulled very well. Pulls better if it's a gal. Just kidding. But as far as something we're just going to stick with, neon yellow handwritten signs. That's a sign I recommend you use. You don't have to handwrite them all. You could take one, write down the numbers, send them to a graphic company, and they can print the signs for you. This is going to cost a little more, but the main reason people keep their cost of signs down is because they expect them to get torn down. When you do it like a badass, not only are your signs not going to get torn down, but people are putting them up, keeping your signs up permanently. The cost is not going to be such a consideration. And even if it cost $50,000 to get a sign out, if that one sign makes you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, is it worth it? It makes a lot of sense to do. So cost is only a consideration if you don't know what you're doing. As far as the headline and what you write on the sign, the sloppier the handwriting, the better. You want it to be like barely legible. Misspellings are great. Backwards letters. Profanity is awesome. Not just in general, but on the signs as well. One time we had a guy in Texas. He asked me what to put on the sign. I said, be honest. And he actually wrote this on his sign. Must sell. My wife is a whore. And I know the situation. She was. Just kidding. I'm not going to take sides. Now let's talk about the 3 people that you want to partner with, how to make that money. I'm going to introduce 3 models to you. One of them is working with lenders and agents. One of them is going to be working with real estate investors. And the other one is going to be working with websites. So whether you're in real estate or not, make this happen. It's very simple. First, let's talk about the lender agent model. This is a model that I've had students make $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month, a week, and a day. Here's how it works. I know I'm going to talk fast, and I'm going to show you some pretty pictures in the meantime, so we're not going to do so many cuts. You can watch this as many times as you want. Here's how it works. Lenders get a call. You're going to get leads. You're going to take clients. You're going to take people. They're going to go through your lender. Your lender is going to talk to them and try to approve as many as they possibly can. A certain number of the people will approve. A certain number of them will not approve. The ones who do approve get sent to a real estate agent and get looking at houses immediately. You're going to get a cut from the lender and from the agent. The cut that you want to get from the lender is about $500 to $1,000 on average. The cut you're going to get from the real estate agent is 25% of what their cut is. That is the standard that real estate agents pay as a referral fee. I'm going to get to the legality in a second, so don't freak out. So here's an example, $150,000 house. That's a median, about the average price range in America. From your lender, from the approval, let's say that they really don't know what they're doing. They don't make that much money. Instead of getting $500, you just get $250. Now, from your real estate agent, the real estate agents would normally get 6% of that price. So 6% of $150,000 is, get your calculators out, $9,000. It's almost like I've done this math before. That's so weird. Half of that is what your agent's going to get, $4,500. 25% of that is just over, what is it? Just about $1,100. So between your lender and your agent, you're getting about $1,500. Does that make sense? Everyone follows how that works? First, the people go to your lender, to your agent. Should be making $1,500. You see where we're going with this, right? 10 calls a day, that's $1,500 a day. The downside is you have to wait, but I'm going to show you in a second, just wait, how you won't have to wait for anything. How's that sound, tough guy? And gals? A month, and they're getting, on the high end, 100 leads a month. Let me take a time out for a second. Some people are going to grill over this episode. They're going to watch it again and again and again. They're going to study everything I talk about. And others of you, unfortunately, aren't going to. And the ones that do, I tell you, this episode is going to change your life. You're going to make more money faster, quicker, and easier than you've ever done before. And I want your testimonial. It really is a driving force to know how cool is it that I can just stick this out in the cyber world, and people, I can share, what other people go out. What I mean to say is that it feels really good. And I'd love to hear for what you do with this. All right, back to the investors. So with these investors, you can just move these people to them. You can also search on Google, find the investors who are paying for your area I buy homes, your area investors, your area I must sell, and I find out how much they're paying per click, how much they're paying per lead, how much they're paying to get the information. Then you just get the information or hire a call center to get the information. And actually, a lot of the investors already have call centers that you can get the information for people as well. So your arrangement with an investor may be, look, every time a seller calls, they're behind on payments, and we get all this information, we'll send them to you, and we'll charge you $50 up front, and then we'll get 20% of what you get on the back end when you close the deal. Investors are fighting over each other to get these types of people, get these types of clients sent to them. So it's another way, versus a lender agent model, the investors sending people to investors is another way to start making money immediately. $20, $40, $50, you can start pulling that cash in immediately, especially when you work with hundreds of investors and you keep them all busy all over the country. It's an incredible way to make money. The third item is really cool. This is where you work with websites. There's several websites you can work with, like eharmony.com, Gamefly.com is a video game website, and eBay is another website. These websites will pay you to get people to come to their website. So instead of using a phone number on the sign, just put a website, and you want to use a redirect. And what that means is if you sign up with eBay, they're going to give you an affiliate link. It's really long. You want to get a much shorter link. That way you promote a really small website that's easy to remember, and then people go through your affiliate link to a website and you get paid every single time. Okay, so those are the ways to make money with the signs. Now, how do you get your signs and keep them out there? Let's get cracking. First thing here is research. This is very important. You want to go to Traffic.com and you want to search traffic densities. It's really simple on that site. You look for the colors. It's color coded. It's like almost impossible to screw this up. Some of you are going to find a way. So you go to Traffic.com, you find traffic dense areas. And what you're going to do is you're going to contact, you can use Google Maps, you can search, overlay that with Google Maps. It's very simple. And you're going to find the nearest companies or the nearest businesses or the nearest homes in those red hot areas. Call the homeowner and you tell them that you have a house that you want to sell in the area, and do they mind if you put a sign in their yard for the weekend? About 7 to 9 out of 10 people are going to agree immediately. Now, when you build your infrastructure the way that we talked about, you're going to get an idea of how much money you're going to make. So after the weekend, on the Monday or Tuesday, you want to call the homeowner up, whoever's yard it is, and explain, from your sign, we didn't sell the house, or maybe we did, but here's what I'd like to do. I think I can pay you about $300. So if you want, I can come and take the sign down right now, or we can leave it up this week and see how things work out, and maybe I can pay you another $200 to $300 by the end of the week. In that example, roughly 7 to 9 out of 10 people in that second example will tell you to keep the sign up. The big secret here is the average homeowner in America can make enough money from your sign in their yard, assuming that it's a high traffic yard, to pay their mortgage payment. They can replace the income from their job. One of the first couples that did this in Boston had one sign in their yard, and they were in a high traffic area. They made $7,000 a month. $7,000 a month from one sign in their yard, and that's it. So using Traffic.com, finding high traffic areas, working with the people, you want to have, basically you're going to turn it into a billboard. You really want to take it up a notch. You want to use a person standing there. You want them to dress up like Osama bin Laden, or just have them stand there naked. Just kidding, that's totally inappropriate, something I would never do. Don't try that at home. Do it. The crazier the person with the sign is, the better. You want like a crackhead who's shaking and jumping around and dancing to music that's not playing and stepping over invisible stuff, talking to people who aren't there. As long as they keep your sign up, man, that guy's going to get you hundreds of calls. That's where you get 2 to 3 calls a minute. If you did your research and you found a high traffic area and you have somebody standing there with a sign, you should be getting at least 2 to 3 calls a minute from somebody standing there with a sign, dressed up and dancing. 2 to 3 calls a minute. So even if you pay someone $10 to $15 an hour, remember, I'm going to show you how to do this for free, but even if you paid them $15 an hour to do it, or $20 or $30 an hour, you're buying leads for literally pennies and you're selling them for dollars. It is very difficult to beat neon yellow handwritten signs. How can you beat those numbers? Now, I said I'm going to show you how to do this for free. There are 3 ways. I got to wrap this up quickly. You want to work with schools, churches, and homeless shelters. Whenever you see a homeless person standing out with a sign, replace it. Get your sign up there. And if they're passed out and drunk, it's even better. Imagine seeing a homeless person passed out with your sign right there. That's awesome. If you work with the homeless shelter, you can work out a split. Say, look, I plan on making about $100 a day. You better not. You should be making several $1,000s a day. Schools. Raising money for schools. Instead of having those car washes where the girls basically do a striptease for elder men who pull up with windows tinted so they can eject. Allegedly. That's hilarious. You can put these kids on the streets where they belong. That'll put some hair on their ass. And you're not going to have to pay them out of pocket because you're going to give a school a cut of what you make. Make sense? Churches, same thing. You can help raise money for a project. And the beauty is when you start doing that, when you work with the homeowner or when you work with someone in a high traffic area, whether it's a seller, a homeowner, or a business, you could say, look, you mind if someone stands out in front of your house or your business with a sign for an hour we're going to give half the money to a church. If you have problems, take some pictures and brochures about the projects they do. It really helps. You should get a near 100% compliance. We've worked with several law enforcement agencies and actually had cops, someone out in the police, they're not in they're in their police uniform, they're not dressed up, they're actually cops standing out there with the neon yellow handwritten sign. How's that for turning the table? And nobody, and when you use signs in high traffic yards, if the person whose yard it is wants it there, ain't nobody gonna take it down, man. So when I refer to badassery, I know it's immature and, maybe unprofessional. That's just us, I guess. But this is what I'm talking about. Most people, when they get around signs, they talk about signs, they start screaming, I don't want to get caught, I don't want to get in trouble. When you do it like a badass, you can walk right up to a police station and put the sign on the cop cars. Put it on the cops with them laughing. I know I said to go over 3 ways to make money. Let me give you an extra way. Let's say you're looking for home loan modifications. There's so many companies, if you just search them online, if you just do a search online, a lot of these groups pay hundreds of dollars just for the application. Not even if it's approved, just for the application. Let's just say it's $100 for a home loan modification application. And you use what we just talked about and you just get 20 calls an hour. And of those 20 calls, just 10% of those people convert. That's 2 people, $200 an hour. You have no cost. You can give the kids or the homeless people or whoever the exact policies on how to get your signs out, have them do it, and you start making $200 an hour. Is that realistic? You really should spend bigria.com. Do you really go through the proof section right now? Students, clients, people on our team are doing thousands of dollars an hour, tens of thousands of dollars a day. I don't even want to say that because it sounds like horse. I know, so I'm going to say 10 grand a month. You can make a lot more than that. Everything I've gone over is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Get the calls, reverse hire people to handle the calls, or just send them to a website. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg. Bigria.com. We take this to a whole another level. Know what I'm spraying? I'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and what you do with this. Please let me know. Thanks.